Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Red Devils Manchester United versus Arsenal. 8:15 on Wednesday, the 4th of December. Ruben Amorim's biggest test by a long way, and an opportunity for United to really show that they have turned the corner. Yes, we've had some very good results recently. Yes, we've had better performances. We've had players who haven't scored goals getting on the score sheet. We've kept a clean sheet in the last game. But at the end of the day, against opponents, you kind of expect to do this. And this is going to be the first real test for Ruben Amorim and his staff as we try and take on a bit of a rampant Arsenal at the moment recently, who have come on the back of, they've actually scored 10 goals in their last two games, 13 goals in their last three games, averaging more than four goals a game. So they're in red hot form at the moment. And at the moment, in a bit of a precarious position where a good result tomorrow night, a couple of good results put them back into potentially a bit of a title chase, if even a bit of an outside shot. But if they were to slip a couple of games, all of a sudden they could very much be out of the title chase for good. So a very interesting time for Mikel Arteta, who had to navigate quite a really a tough start to November, but it's sort of seemingly turned things around. We're going to talk about some of the team news for both sides and look at some of sort of the Forbes, as well as then look at a bit of a predicted Manchester United 11. And it's going to be the most interesting 11 of Ruben Amorim's tenure so far, because it's the first 11 really where he's going to go full strength, or as full strength as he can with the players he has available. And the nice thing is he does have majority of his squad available, which Eric Ten Hag definitely didn't, Ruben Amorim didn't have in the early stages. So in terms of some injury news, Harry Maguire made his return, as has Luke Shaw and Tor Malacia recently. However, we do know that Lissandro Martinez and Kobe Mainoo will not be involved tomorrow night because they are currently suspended after picking up 5 yellow cards. As a result, they will miss the clash tomorrow night and will not be involved. Another defender who could be involved is Lenny Yoro, who could make his Manchester United debut if he's selected by Ruben Amorim in the matchday squad, which I think you might see. I think we might see him in the squad. Whether we'll see him actually take to the field, I'll be quite surprised. But you never know. I'd be very surprised if he were to, for example, throw him in the deep end. And it's a bit of a full circle really for Lenny Yoro, because it was against Arsenal in the preseason where he injured his metatarsal, which has kept him out for so many months. And it'd be really cool to see him make a return against Arsenal, but I don't think we're going to throw him into the deep end just yet. The only other sort of recent injury concern was Bruno Fernandes was receiving, or had some ice on his foot on Sunday after he came off against Everton, but Ruben Amorim has confirmed that he is fully fit and will feature tomorrow evening. So, the incredible fitness standards that Bruno Fernandes continues to drive. He's phenomenal. I think he's been available for over 90% of the games United have played since he's arrived. So he's an amazing player with regards to keeping fit. In terms of Arsenal, for example, no Ben White, and they're waiting to see what's going to happen with Thomas Partey and Mikel Merino. There's also potentially a injury concern regarding Gabriel, who picked up a bit of a knock against Sporting last week. And Tomiyasu is also somebody who's not been playing recently. But apart from that, a pretty full squad for Mikel Arteta to be able to pick from, and we expect obviously them to go as full strength as possible, which would mean that the big threats for United, obviously with Bukayo Saka, Havertz in the middle, Trossard, the front three. And the main thing is obviously the midfield, really, and how you can try and dominate the midfield. A bit of an interesting one now is Jorginho, Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, and the way they kind of set up at the moment. So, yeah, I'll be interested to sort of see how they sort of they do set up. Obviously, Gabriel played over the weekend but came off, and so I think that he probably should be relatively fit. But we wait to see exactly who will line up for Arsenal. But I don't think there will be too many changes, to be perfectly honest. I think they're a pretty settled side. And with regards to how United are going to set up, well, this is my predicted side. And obviously, Onana in goal is pretty expected. But for me, it's the composition of that back three. Now, Nusa Mazraoui has actually just been named Premier League, Manchester United, as player of the season of the month for November. Very deserved, and he's had a really good month, and he's been absolutely key to the turnaround that we have seen under Ruben Nistelrooy as well as Ruben Amorim. So really, really well deserved from him there. So I think he'll start in that right centre back. I think we'll see Delict, shift to that centre back. There's no Sandro Martinez, for example, this weekend, and I think Luke Shaw potentially could start then in the left centre back role. I expect to see Amad and Diallo occupy the two wing back positions. With Kobe Manu out, I think we'll probably go quite secure with an Nagata Casemiro type midfield. I'd be very surprised. You might see Mason Mount. That's sort of the other way we can kind of go, though Mason Mount's that midfield, but not necessarily maybe as defensively solid. So that's going to be an interesting one. How defensive is Ruben Amorim going to be? Is he going to take chances, for example? Is he going to throw the dice a little bit? And then I expect the front, the two number 10s, the two number 10s, to be Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. Rashford has scored the last couple of games. Bruno Fernandes looked really good. And the big toss-up now, all of a sudden, was Joshua Zirkzee scoring a brace over the weekend. Do you go with Zirkzee or Hojlund up front? The nice thing is both of them have scored 2 goals in their last 2 starts under Ruben Amorim as well. So there's no real, I don't think, bad option between those two. I personally would like to see us go with Rasmus Hojlund. I think that's the side that really gives the best chance of being as competitive as possible tomorrow night. And in terms of our chances, Arsenal have had quite a strange season in terms of their recent form. So they lost to Newcastle back at the beginning of November, and they followed it up with a 1-0 loss against Inter Milan before being held by Chelsea. But since then, they've gone 3-0 against Nottingham Forest, 5-1 against Sporting, and 5-2 against Arsenal. So they have conceded goals in their last 2 games, but they have been scoring goals for fun. And in terms of where they are at the table, they're currently sitting in second place, but 9 points behind Liverpool. So this is what I mean. Like a win tomorrow, for example, keeps them in their 9 points. If Liverpool drop points, they can actually gain some ground. However, a loss for Arsenal would mean they could potentially go as much as 12 points behind Liverpool. It would also mean that if United were to win tomorrow, we could then go to within 3 points of us, 3 points back, and put ourselves into that top 4 mix, firmly into that top 4 mix. So this is why it's such an important result for United, because a win for United kind of gets the season back on track to a certain degree, and a loss for Arsenal can kind of derail any sort of potential title charge. You do expect Liverpool to drop points at some stage, and they play against Newcastle tomorrow night away as well. So it should be a pretty difficult game there for Newcastle. Then they do have the Merseyside derby this weekend before a couple of tricky games in December, including a trip away for Spurs before hosting United in January. So, the form that Liverpool have shown has been really, really impressive. The question is, can they keep it up? From an Arsenal perspective, well, kind of all or nothing at times, to be perfectly honest. So we have to wait and see. Let me know what changes you would make to the starting line, as well what you think is going to happen in this game down in the comments below. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.